Have you ever wondered why some men seem like impenetrable fortresses, their hearts seemingly encased in armor of indifference? It's as if no feminine charms can shake their composure. Today we'll reveal a secret you won't find in the glossy pages of women's magazines or in the intrusive videos of self-proclaimed love gurus. We're talking about knowledge that goes far beyond saccharine compliments and banal seduction techniques. Prepare to delve into something deeper, more instinctive and more effective. Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychologist, argued that our unconscious mind has a colossal influence not only on our dreams, but also on the formation of interpersonal relationships. It is in the mysterious depths of the male mind that genuine attraction originates. It's not about appearance, not about the art of creating perfect selfies, and not about endlessly praising his virtues. A real, lasting connection arises when a woman masters the ability to awaken in a man his innermost emotional desire, the very one he may not even be aware of. After all, paradoxically, men also strive to feel desired, albeit in a completely different way than is commonly believed in the female perception. Ahead, you will discover something that will forever change your understanding of male psychology and allow you to take a fresh look at the art of relationships. While people strive for mutual understanding and exchange of opinions, men react to subtle stimuli, impulses dictated by their deep, subconscious desires for leadership, recognition, and a sense of significance. This is where the secret that usually remains behind the scenes is revealed. When a woman masters the art of communicating with a man's subconscious, she doesn't just occupy a place in his thoughts, she becomes an obsession. Just imagine a man beginning to yearn for a woman even before he realizes the full depth of his feelings for her. At first glance, this may seem like an exaggeration, but it is entirely possible. There are certain phrases, behavioral patterns, and moments that can evoke a kind of emotional dependency in a man's mind. The problem is that the vast majority of women do not possess these keys and, as a result, make mistakes that extinguish the flame of attraction before it even has a chance to ignite. One of the most common blunders is the mistaken belief that men like to be presented with everything ready-made, depriving them of any intrigue. This is a serious misconception. Male attraction blossoms in a space filled with curiosity and ambiguity. If a woman seems too accessible and intrusive, a man's mind subconsciously categorizes her as conquered, and everything that has already been conquered loses its value in his eyes. According to Jung's teachings, an individual subconsciously seeks to compensate for their own shortcomings, projecting onto others those aspects of personality that have not yet become part of themselves. When a woman embodies, even without words, the part that a man lacks, he begins to see in her not just one of many, but that special figure who awakens in him something previously unknown. It is this feeling that causes him to have an obsessive desire to be around her. As an illustration, consider the story of Valentina, who possessed a striking appearance, charisma, and a sharp mind. However, for some inexplicable reason, men quickly lost interest in her. She sincerely believed that she was acting correctly, sending affectionate messages, always ready to help, showing genuine interest in their lives. But that was precisely her mistake. When Valentina changed her tactics, ceasing to seek approval and demonstrating self-confidence, not trying to impress, and setting soft but clear boundaries, the situation changed dramatically. The same men who had previously left now began to persistently seek her attention. What caused such a dramatic shift? The heroine of this story decided to abandon the strategy of constantly trying to please and instead began to consciously use her femininity as an instrument of influence. Attracting a man's attention is not an act of pleading or obsessive pursuit, but the art of inspiring and creating a special aura around oneself. It is important to develop a presence that is felt even when you are not physically present. The male mind is structured according to the principle of a reward system. If a man receives everything he desires without any effort, his brain automatically devalues it as something insignificant. However, when a man feels that he needs to earn a woman's attention, When he understands that this attention is not something to be taken for granted, a genuine desire awakens in him. This happens not because of manipulation, but because of deep neurological processes. People tend to value what is hard-earned. So what's the real secret to captivating a man entirely? The answer isn't about memorizing stock phrases or using pickup techniques, but about becoming an unforgettable emotional experience. Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychologist, spoke of archetypes, universal, age-old images residing in the collective unconscious. If a woman can embody the archetype a man craves, be it the muse inspiring new achievements, the woman challenging and stimulating his growth, or the one helping him unlock his emotional potential, his mind won't be able to stray from her. He will perceive her, not through logic, but feel her with his entire being. Beware of a common mistake. Constant messaging asking about his expectations or obsessive attempts to please can reveal your insecurity and need for attention. Remember, neediness repels, not attracts. The true weapon of seduction is emotional abundance, self-assurance, and the sense that your choice of him is based on desire, not a desperate need for him to feel complete. Men, by nature, don't seek deep analysis of a woman's soul. They are drawn to the feeling of vitality and freedom in your presence. They fall in love not with your words, but with the emotions you evoke. If you create an atmosphere where he can be himself without fear of judgment, pressure, or the need to wear a mask, he will undoubtedly return. Moreover, he'll want to stay forever. After all, deep down, both men and women seek the same thing, a place where their soul feels at home. If you can become that place for him, no competition will be a threat. And if someone thinks that what's been read is just a starting point, they're absolutely right. Ahead lies the unveiling of secrets to using words, gestures, and even silence to create a lasting, emotional impression. It's crucial to understand that men connect not only through the content of a conversation, but also through the feelings the words evoke. This simple, yet often overlooked truth is the key to a man's heart. By choosing words with particular energy and intention, a woman can touch the deepest areas of a man's subconscious, the very ones that Carl Jung studied in his theory of types and the collective unconscious. By addressing this emotional and symbolic realm, a woman awakens something in a man that defies rational explanation, existing only on the level of feelings. It's at this moment that she ceases to be one of many, transforming into someone who evokes special emotions. Consider a common example. Upon meeting an attractive man, a woman often admires his appearance. "You're so handsome, charming smile, what eyes." But the effect of these words is minimal. The man has heard similar things countless times, and the compliments become part of the ordinary noise. Instead, one can apply a completely different approach, capable of destabilizing the man, disrupting his automatism, and distinguishing the woman from the crowd. For example, in conversation, one could say, "I'm impressed by your way of thinking. It's rare to meet a man with such clarity of mind." What is the power of this phrase? It doesn't feed the man's superficial ego, his appearance or image, but touches his essence, intelligence, worldview, authenticity. Such recognition activates the man's mind. He begins to ponder why this woman in particular saw something special in him, what she noticed that others don't. It's from this moment that an emotional connection is born, capable of captivating him. What underlies this transformation? It's not just about the words, but also about the emotional charge they carry. When a woman speaks with unflappable calm and confidence, not striving to impress or gain approval, the man involuntarily feels an attraction whose source is unclear to him. This irrational emotional attraction is akin to the deep processes that Jung associated with the awakening of inner archetypes. Instead of conquering a man with external attributes, a woman touches something dormant within him, making herself unforgettable. Next, we'll discuss 3 specific phrases capable of awakening this deep attraction. However, it should be remembered, uttered without sincerity, they will lose their power. Their effectiveness is due to confident energy and a connection to one's own self. The first phrase, "I don't know why, but there's something about you that attracts me in a special way." What's the secret to its impact? The male mind is accustomed to standard compliments about appearance or superficial approval, but this phrase introduces an element of mystery, emotional ambiguity. She seems to activate a heightened alert mode in his mind, making him wonder what exactly attracted her to him. In this way, she enters his thoughts, and it won't be easy for him to shake off this obsession. His words conveyed genuine admiration for the aura that emanated from her. It's rare to encounter someone whose presence is so palpable and unique. This compliment wasn't aimed at evaluating her external appearance or social standing, but rather at the inner strength she radiated. It touched the deepest chords of her emotional ego, making her feel unique because of something that cannot be imitated or controlled, as it was an integral part of her being, and this created a symbolic connection between them. "There's something about you that is both calming and bewildering," she said, creating an aura of mystery and emotional tension around herself. Her words left something unsaid, making his mind search for answers. He involuntarily began to think about her more often, remembering this phrase and trying to decipher its meaning. As Jung said, what is not consciously realized continues to live in the unconscious, thus she became an obsessive thought in his head. However, just as there are words that can awaken emotional attraction, there are also mistakes that can destroy it, even if she doesn't realize it. Regardless of her beauty and the time spent creating a flawless image, making these mistakes can lead to him losing interest. The first common mistake that ladies make in the company of a gentleman they are interested in is an excessive emphasis on their own person. In an effort to make a favorable impression, they begin to elaborate on their triumphs, exotic travels, and ambitious plans, often crossing the line of reason. Such behavior creates the impression of an intrusive self-presentation, as if a woman is desperately trying to sell herself. A man, in turn, perceives this as a veiled insecurity and subconsciously distances himself. The second serious mistake is excessive availability. Instant responses to messages, unconditional agreement to any proposals, cancelling one's own plans for a meeting. All of this radiates an energy of scarcity, as if a woman is afraid of missing her chance. She acts not out of desire, but out of fear of losing him, and this does not go unnoticed. As Jung would note, such behavior activates a negative archetype, the shadow of femininity, ready to sacrifice itself for acceptance. And this is certainly not the energy that is capable of seducing. When a man feels that a woman is ready to remake her entire life to attract his attention, even if he hasn't shown much interest, he involuntarily begins to lose respect for her. The reason is simple. Subconsciously, she moves from the category of priorities to the category of options, and a man will never appreciate a woman who positions herself as an addition to his own story. In relationships, situations often arise when a woman, striving for closeness, commits acts that repel her partner. One such mistake is the constant desire to get a man's approval. Phrases expressing self-doubt and a need for confirmation, "I hope you like me," "Am I doing everything right with you?" create an impression of dependence and insecurity. A man is attracted to a woman who values herself, doesn't need constant confirmation of her importance, and doesn't seek permission to be herself. Another common mistake is the manifestation of emotional depression. Continuous messages, obsessive checks of online status, constant questions about love. All this creates an atmosphere of despair and dependence. Depression is repulsive because it indicates a lack of inner harmony. A woman who sends a man a signal that he is her only chance for happiness, that her self-esteem depends on his attention, loses her attractiveness. Men are attracted not to lack, but to abundance, emotional self-sufficiency and inner fulfillment. An emotionally abundant woman does not beg for attention, but inspires with her presence. So how do you avoid these mistakes and maintain your individuality? It's important to learn to talk less about yourself and listen more to your partner, to show mystery, giving him the opportunity to feel your absence. It is necessary to stop seeking his approval and start recognizing your own value, broadcasting confidence from within rather than trying to portray it. The main thing is not to try to impress a man, but to allow him to strive to win your attention. The decisive moment arrives: how to communicate with a man casually and confidently, even when the flame of desire to impress is raging inside. No doubt you've seen women who aren't necessarily dazzling extroverts or conforming to conventional beauty standards, yet they attract men like magnets. And it's not just luck. The secret lies in their special ability to express themselves, a skill that few women possess. Let's reveal a psychological secret that is rarely voiced. It's not about the content of the words, but the manner in which they are spoken, and, most importantly, the energy that emanates from the speaker. The first and most important rule is to speak slowly, pausing. Haste in speech betrays anxiety, whereas a woman who speaks calmly and clearly exudes magnetic confidence. A man gets the feeling that he is with someone who doesn't need to fight for attention. She is attention itself. How can you apply this in practice? Next time you're talking to him, slow down your speech, pause, and use silence to your advantage. When he shares something with you, don't rush to answer immediately. Look at him, smile slightly, and say something like, "Have you noticed that most people never talk about what they really feel? You're different." At that moment, the appeal is not to his logical mind, but directly to the subconscious, where a deep connection is born. He will begin to wonder why he feels so calm around you, why he feels able to open up without fear of judgment. It seems that nothing special has been said, but the manner of pronunciation turns ordinary words into an emotional experience. Fast speech is like fireworks, which instantly catch the eye, but fade just as quickly, leaving only a fleeting impression. In contrast, slow and measured speech is like a lit candle in the twilight of a room, whose soft light you don't want to extinguish but want to contemplate. It is worth listening to wise advice. Reverse psychology can be a faithful ally in the desire to capture the listener's attention. It's no secret that cats have an irresistible attraction to everything hidden. They are not very interested in what lies on the surface, but as soon as you hide something and hint at its existence, they begin a relentless search until they get to what they want. The male mind is structured similarly. Complete frankness and transparency deprive a woman of an aura of mystery. However, skillfully sown seeds of curiosity can capture his thoughts for a long time. Instead of direct answers, you should throw phrases that trigger emotional cycles in his mind that need to be completed. For example, instead of the banal compliment, "You are not like everyone else," you can say, "I don't know if I should tell you this, but there is something in you that only a few can see." What is happening in his head at this moment? He is trying to figure out what is so special about him that the woman saw, why she is hesitant to speak directly, what she knows. Thus a need for an answer awakens in him, and a woman who has managed to arouse such curiosity becomes truly captivating for him. In the arsenal of women's strategies, there are many techniques that can intrigue a man and capture his attention. One such technique is a mysterious answer to a direct question. For example, if a man is interested in what exactly attracted the woman's attention to his personality, you can answer with a smile. "I'm not sure if I should tell you this, because if I reveal the secret, you'll be thinking about it all day." This innocent, at first glance answer is like a skillfully planted seed that sprouts in a man's mind, arousing curiosity and making him think. Psychologists argue that uncertainty and understatement increase attraction. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, argued that the human mind strives for what is beyond its control. Carl Jung, an outstanding Swiss psychologist, emphasized that aspects of the psyche that we are not aware of manifest themselves in life as fate. By awakening in a man an emotion that he cannot explain, a woman triggers a process in his subconscious that can turn into obsession. However, in the desire to charm a man, it is important not to cross the fine line and not appear intrusive or desperate. Many women face a situation where at the beginning of a relationship they exude confidence and independence, but as soon as a man shows interest, they lose control. They begin to bombard him with messages, ask countless questions, and cancel their own plans to be around. As a result, the man distances himself, and the woman finds herself in the friend zone. The story of Camilla, the author's friend, is indicative. Having met the man of her dreams, she initially behaved casually and mysteriously. However, succumbing to anxiety, she began to constantly text him messages, wish him good morning and good night, and even cancel her plans to be available to him. As a result, the man lost interest, and Camilla ended up in the role of just a friend. The reason is simple. Subconsciously, she has conveyed to the man that her life revolves around him. The essence lies in the fact that a man values a woman he perceives as a prize to be won. Once he realizes he has become her priority, his interest wanes. How can a woman radiate irresistible appeal without creating the impression of neediness? The secret lies in possessing her own unique world, having clear goals, passionate interests, and cultivating her feminine energy. When a woman lives with inner confidence, when she is aware of her essence, her direction, and her desired achievements, she transmits a non-verbal but powerful message to the man. I am interested in you, but I am not trying to conquer you. You have to earn a place in my life. It is this message that forms a genuine emotional connection. After all, men are drawn not to those who pursue them, but to those who present a challenge, who beckon without demanding anything in return. A woman filled with emotional wealth does not beg, but inspires. How do you avoid the trap of constantly seeking approval? Speak confidently and calmly without worrying about the impression you make. Give preference to your personal projects, daily rituals, and inner development. Let your energy speak for itself, demonstrating, I have a choice, and you are not the only one who has my attention. Clearly, by now the reader has a certain understanding of male psychology, which remains inaccessible to many women. The essence of male attraction lies not only in the content of the conversation, but also in the feelings that a woman can evoke in a man. A confident and calm manner of speech with measured pauses allows a man not only to perceive the words, but also to feel the energy emanating from the woman. This energy non-verbally communicates. I don't need to rush to earn your sympathy because I already love myself. The skillful use of reverse psychology awakens a subconscious curiosity in a man. The very sphere that the famous psychologist Jung defined as the source of our emotional attachments. The man begins to think about the woman without realizing the true reasons for his attraction. When a woman manages to penetrate this irrational area of the male mind, woven from emotions alone, she is forever etched in his memory. The key is to abandon the stereotypical behavior of the nice girl striving for approval and begin to create around yourself a universe full of interest and passion, so attractive that the man himself will strive to become a part of it. When a woman realizes her purpose, her values, her inner light, she becomes a magnet for men. After all, deep down, a man falls in love not with the one who persistently seeks his attention, but with the one whose inner world shines brightly and self-sufficiently. He feels a deep attachment to the one who serves as a source of inspiration for him, who stimulates him emotionally and encourages personal growth for the sake of maintaining the relationship. The author asks readers to share their impressions of the presented strategies and plans for their application in the comments, promising personal participation in the discussion. If the proposed ideas have been helpful and have provided concrete tools for arousing emotional attraction in a man, the author encourages you to express gratitude with a like and share the video with a friend whose efforts to attract the attention of her chosen one remain unanswered. It's time for her to turn into a woman who is courted. In conclusion, the author suggests adopting as a life principle the phrase of Marcus Aurelius, "Give up the desire for the approval of others and become a woman who cannot be ignored."